for. But I think some of these emergency end stakes that I've been seeing the last few weeks have just, I mean, they just don't make any sense. Some of them are losing all their principal, and it's just like, you just paid Ethereum gas to just kill that way. I don't know. I don't understand why that would happen. Maybe they just didn't understand I guess with those, they probably just didn't understand like it would all go away.
So it's probably a combination of hacks.
Oh, you think? Okay, that's a good point. It could have been, a hack. Yeah.
People get hacked. Also, people use other protocols that allow you to unstake without losing your principal, and so they're operating under the rules of every other staking coin that isn't immutably locked, that isn't protecting yourself from your present self, and paying your future self, and so yeah, that would probably be categorized under a lack of education. And I've referred to the emergency end stake penalty as, and the setup is kind of draconian, because there isn't an exact warning of how much you're going to lose on the website. It says this is an advanced feature, and it's got a big red blinky light border that appears around it. And if people use the front end that I made or the Staker app tracker, they can see exactly how much they're going to lose. It's all calculated there. And that the most information you could find on what happens if you early end stake is going to be on go.tshare.app.
Go.tshare.app. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point about. I've looked at the psychology of the emergency end stake button. I've seen that that box pop up, and I've always thought, why doesn't it tell more information? And my conclusion was that it doesn't elaborate, not because it couldn't, because obviously that could be a feature. Other people have written as you talked about, but I think maybe it's a way to kind of put that, hey, maybe it's trying to appeal to people who wouldn't click it if they didn't have enough information, which that's only going to appeal to certain people who, I don't want to call them smarter, but like they're more diligent about their actions. But a lot of people are going to, especially if they're panicking, they're going to say, oh, emergency end stake, whatever, I don't care. They're not going to think that far. So I always thought of it. I came to the conclusion that it was a deterrent for emergency end stake. That's why there's not more information, because they don't, if you saw all the information in front of you, then you may not, you may do it, or you may not, you may make that decision because you have the data. That's what I wrote it off as, but I don't know. Do you think that's accurate, or what do you think?
So the other possibility is these accounts that are not nuking themselves, but that are just giving up a huge dollar value of interest. Anybody who staked before the big payday will lose their big payday, all of their big payday interest, plus the normal penalties that apply. Whereas people who emergency end stake with stakes that started after the big payday are not losing as much of a percentage of their investment based on the amount of time served, but are still losing 50%. If you've only served half your time, you lose all your interest. And then if there's some weird thing, if you like stake less than 90 days and don't do half, then you can nuke it all or something, I think.
A little bit. Yeah, there's definitely fluctuation in there, because if you do 50%, I've heard of people saying, oh, I thought I was going to get 50% back, and then it's less, and they're like, why?
Yeah.
And then, so it must be that kind of rule there.
But there's another use case that somebody had posted on Twitter a couple weeks ago, and I lost it. I can't find it now, but they had done a spreadsheet, and it showed it, based on all the blockchain data, that in the past month or so, there are more people who are ending these valuable stakes like halfway, at the halfway mark. And there's been a spike up. And so the psychology behind that is that people who maybe they put in $1,000. All right, let's take somebody who put in $5,000 in the beginning. They made 5 stakes, and each of those stakes now is worth $1 million. Well, if they don't have any other income, and they have a stake that is halfway done and has another a couple of years to go, then
Mm-hmm.
they don't mind losing $500,000 so that they can get the $500,000 out because they only put in 1,000.